Welcome back to Politics Tonight, everyone. Thank you so much for staying with us. Tonight, we're assessing Nigeria's nation-building challenges and success stories. And I've been speaking with Professor Bello Bada. He's a professor of literature in English. Prof, thank you very much for staying with us on the program.
Okay, thank you, Jumai.
Right, so let's move on quickly, because before we went on break, you established that democracy is not expensive, but we made it so. But when you look at President Tinubu's administration's demonstrable capacity to bite the bullets, I mean, we look at the implementation of the Oronsaye report, was something the president considered. Mr. President slashed the number of his entourage on foreign and domestic travels, merged some MDAs as part of this recommendation. So what more can government do to bring about a more structural, effective and enduring response to the fiscal recklessness in governance, that knows no bounds?
Well, Jimoke, if you are talking of Nigerian democracy, especially from 1999 to date, you find President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is the most opposed president. But God made it that he will be a president of Nigeria, and today he is the president of Nigeria. He made many challenges, no doubt about it. A destroyed economy, no doubt about it. Floating naira, no doubt about it. A disunited country, lack of faith and others, and so on and so forth. And more especially, the challenges of bringing new policies, especially the withdrawal of the subsidy. No president of Nigeria attempted. Many presidents attempted, but every one of them could see the danger and he stopped. So therefore, things are very, very difficult in Nigeria now. President Ahmed Bola Tinubu must act quickly, especially in terms of transportation, in terms of food supply on the table, in terms of security. He has to act. What other president could do and get away with it, Tinubu could not get away with it. That is the reality. Others could get away with it. They could do worse than this, and they could get away with it. But Tinubu, because he was opposed right from the beginning. Let us tell ourselves the truth. He was opposed right from the beginning and opposed by the establishment, people who really knew him, and therefore he really has to be conscious of this. At the time he withdrew the subsidy, people thought he had very good plans before withdrawing the subsidy. It was only after the announcement of withdrawal of the subsidy, people knew that Mr. President didn't have any other plan. Now that he's already in it, we are all in it, he has to act quickly, especially on the issue of economy. Where he finds his ministers who are not doing well, he has to actually look for capable hands, not really from his own party, not really people from his own tribe, not really people from his own religion. Capable hands who can help this country in Nigeria. And at the end of the day, he is hoping and hoping that perhaps at the end of the day, we will see light at the end of the tunnel. And this is our hope, but he has to do it quickly. He has no miracle, we all believe, but he has to do it quickly.
So, Prof, let's stay on this because, I mean, looking at enforcing monetization policy of government as part of cutting the cost of governance, many say if indeed we are serious about this, government should discontinue provision of houses and vehicles to officers whose allowances are already monetized. Is this realistic?
The problem, Jumai, here, big problem is corruption. Nigerian civil servants and the Nigerian politicians will always find a way to beat the government in every policy it brings. The best thing is the rule of law should work. You go, you do what you are not supposed to do, you break the law, you get punished. You steal the resources, the court should quickly prosecute you so that it can be a lesson for those who are intending to do. But when you see the very people who have stolen resources of the nation and have been brought back to the government and given ministers, and some of them contesting for governorship in their own states, some becoming senators, you look at them in the Senate, then nobody will fear of trying to beat the government in terms of his own policies. So whether monetization or whatever it is, politicians and the senior civil servants, they are extremely wealthy and they have stolen the resources from the wealth of the country. As long as the courts and the government and the agencies the government established are not ready for prosecution of some of these people, we have a long way to go. Any way you go, they are ready to find their own way out. But it is punishment, rule of law, that will really deter them from doing that. That is what is happening in other democracies.
But Prof, I mean, if you're okay with this, shouldn't this also include retirement benefits for past presidents and governors enjoy after leaving office?
They don't, you know, it's all this. They are more concerned with their own comfort. Former presidents, former governors, members of National Assembly, including those of local government chairmen and so on and so forth, they have different allowances which they create when they are living in government. And now take it for example. A state that has 3 or 4 former governors. The resources of the state cannot even take that funding. This should be stopped. They have enough, government has enough for them, for their own welfare, but when they are now foreign trip, for medical, cars, everything for their families, no, it's just too much. It's a big burden on the government. You can imagine Nigeria in the next 20, 30 years, there are many former presidents, there are many former governors, and so on and so forth. What are you going to do to all these people? It is another wayo if you don't understand for these politicians and these civil servants. They have no fear of God.
Prof, you know, I asked that question based on the recommendation by former Minister of State for Defense, Senator Musili Obanikoro, who says we must adopt a review of the budget of the Senate and House of Reps as a strategy to reduce the cost of governance. And one of the examples he gave was that in America, they don't provide accommodation for lawmakers. They fend for themselves when it comes to that. They live basically on salary and very small fringe benefits. Do we really need a bicameral legislature? Because there are those who say for the purpose of checks and balances, bicameral legislature is perfect for us. And for those who hold that position, do you think that if the budget of the 2 legislative houses is made transparent and people can go online and see what is allocated to every member of the National Assembly, and can also impute into the process, perhaps the call for unicameral legislature or a parliamentary system of government would have been avoided? What do you think?
You see, Jumai, there was one former governor of CBN who even accused them of taking about 20% of the entire budget of Nigeria when they are not more than 500 in the two assemblies. So bicameral will take care of that. Not only that, we should also reduce the number of them. You can imagine we have over 300 in the House of Representatives. We have about 109, or is it 108 in the Senate? Why should we continue with this number? What are they doing? And not only that, you find them all over Nigeria for what they call cite this, cite that. They are becoming even a burden to different federal agencies. With all sincerity, Jumoki, why can't we re-examine this and find out? You know, they will resist it, no doubt about it. You want to bring it a change of the constitution, they will never accept that. But we have to find a way of doing this. We have to find a way of reducing the expenditure. It's just too much. If a whole former governor of CBN could accuse them of cornering about 20% of the budget, I know even when he said that, they were all over. They were denying and so on and so forth. Even now, nobody can tell you the exact package, allowances and the salary which each one of them will take. For what reason? What are they doing there in Abuja? Pursuing contracts from one ministry to the other? Or pursuing different ministers and so on and so forth? If you don't do our bidding, then we do something for you, or we disgrace you and so on and so forth. What are they doing? Or are they pursuing employments that every agency will have to give them slots? Look, this corruption must stop if we want Nigeria, united Nigeria, to move forward.
Prof, let's dig deeper, because some Nigerians say this is another major task in front of Mr. President. The prevalence of bribery and corruption, particularly in the country's public sector, is huge. This has become a systemic rot that smears the integrity of public service in Nigeria. Just a few days ago, senior officers of the Nigeria Correctional Services were suspended over allegations of bribery. What challenge does this pose to nation building?
That is the truth, and it's only a tip of the iceberg, I tell you. This only happened because there were some patriotic people who decided to expose this. But this is happening daily. Appointments, people are saying that if you need an appointment, you have to buy it. You have to buy it. How can a nation progress like this? So many challenges for Mr. President, but he needs the support of Nigerians. He needs the encouragement of Nigerians. With the support and the encouragement of Nigerians, the president could do a lot. We could do a lot as a country and we could move forward. But when you look at what is happening, The very people who could not do well when it was their own time have suddenly become critics now. You can hear them if you look at the media, you can hear them now. They have now they found their own voice. And they were given chances. They destroyed the economy, they destroyed everything. And some of them, their tribesmen were there. They destroyed anything, but now they found their own voices. So we have to find patriotism. Love our own country, Nigeria, no matter who is there. And no matter who is there, when he does wrong, get him punished according to the rules of the country. When you're able to do that, then you really get so. But so many things are really confronting Nigeria, especially this monster they call corruption. And now it has taken many dimensions. You are being appointed head of an agency, and they are expecting you to pay before this. Remember, as far back as 1999, once the ministers were being appointed, remember, they accused the members of the Senate of demanding money from them. It was a public, they are there. One of the former ministers was even a governor for 8 years after that episode. So that one did not, I mean, that continued in Nigeria. And now it has metamorphosed, it has become something very big, a monster now, if you really want to deal with it. And that's why Mr. President has really a lot to do. If in the correctional center, they can do this. In the military, they can do this. In the university, they can do this all over. Then what are we going to do? That's why I said we have to tell ourselves the truth. Kamba, we have no any other country. This is our country. And we have to protect our country.
Prof,
we have to think again. Yes.
Can we really defeat corruption in this country?
It's a very, very big question. Nobody can give you the answer directly because corruption is present in almost every country of the world. Things can only be reduced. In Nigeria, the question is, can we really reduce corruption? When 2027 is approaching, the governors, the senators, Mr. President, they need the resources to go into election. That is, again, another big headache. After that, we begin to cry. Can't you imagine? From the time former Minister of Finance, Ngozi, was able to secure debt relief for Nigeria, if you could remember. After that, today we are indebted to the tune of more than 70 trillion, more than 80 trillion. How did it happen? What really happened? What did they do with the money? And every day you can really find it. If this does not stop, then Nigeria is in trouble. We are in trouble. 80 trillion within a short time of less than 20 years. And even before them, we were indebted. We got the debt relief. Now, how can people now look at us and respect us at the international level? What are we doing? You see our roads. The train, they said, couldn't finish anything. Roads, they couldn't finish. Then you can see poverty. You can see the faces of Nigeria. No, it is corruption. Money has been stolen, and they are keeping money for the next generation.
Prof, from our conversation tonight, one of the things you have pointed out is that Nigeria's current democratic dispensation is plagued by a rise in ethnic nationalism, agitations for self-determination, claims of marginalization, ethnic, regional, and religious tensions. These issues continually dominate state politics. What is the role of the National Assembly in achieving nation building and national integration?
The present National Assembly, their role is, they are the same people who are increasing tension in the country. They are the very people who are increasing these ethnic nationalities and so on and so forth. This is what is so unfortunate for us. This is the real problem of Nigeria. There is no doubt we need a sincere leadership. We need a Nigerian leadership at the National Assembly, at the national level, and even at the state level, and even at the local government level. The National Assembly was expected because there you have everybody there. Every local government or every state is represented in the National Assembly. If you look at the House of Representatives, almost every 2 or 3 local governments in Nigeria are represented. So all nationalities are there. People really expected them to show an example. But they were more and more busy with what they can do for themselves and what they can get for themselves. And that is why things have fallen apart. They don't even now demonstrate incapacity to even check the executive. Can you watch this? happening. Nobody is happy. This is the reality. So as long as you don't elect people who have the Nigeria at heart, people who are not there to make money, and also when you have their own constituencies who are also looking for what you are going to do for us, not what you are going to give to us. They have made people very poor. People are now looking for money to even eat. When you go to the hospitals, they are empty. The roads are distracts. Then you have the armed robbers on the roads and the kidnappers. So National Assembly is not helping matters, sincerely.
So what can you say about the role of the judiciary in Nigeria's democratic sustainability? What is the role of the judiciary in nation building? And has the judiciary lived up to expectations?
Well, if you look at comments of people in different places, you find people are saying the lawyers and the judiciary are people who are very happy with the present dispensation. Because you go for elections, you finish your own elections, but you don't know who will be the winner. You are declared winner by INEC, but it's not the end of this. The end of the story is the judiciary, the tribunal. After the tribunal, you appeal. What is most painful is what is the role of the Nigerian Bar Association. What is most painful to me and many people like you is you find your own friend who is a very good man will be a chairman of a tribunal. After the tribunal, you find him purchasing houses, cars for his own children, traveling all over the world. And what you know is he has not read anything that will make him a thief. But you know he has not stolen money. And you know he doesn't have money. But after the tribunal, he's buying houses, he's buying assets, he's buying property. And this is all over Nigeria. From the north, from the south, that one does not know religion. That one does not know tribe. There they are united. Then, where are we going? Where are we going? Even Nigeria should be like this.
So, Prof, because we have a new CJN with enormous task ahead of her, what are the major elements in sustaining the judicial system of a nation? How do we continue to strengthen our judicial arm of government?
She must make sure that all the bad acts that are there, she keeps them on check. And if necessary, when they are found guilty, they have to leave. She must make sure that she is determined to serve her country faithfully. What else does she need in life? Even if she retires at her age and at the position she is, she has enough to live for life. All she needs is to write her name, history to remember her, making a change. There should be change. She should be very, very careful and put Nigeria in her hearts. She is a mother, she is a grandmother. She should make sure that her name is written in gold. Check those elements, put them on check, and when they are found, fish them out and make sure that the law checks is present. There is nothing better for a person than to leave his name, to write his name in gold. What else does she need? Except to serve Nigeria, and serve Nigeria, and may God give her very good leadership to succeed. Without a good judiciary, Nigeria is finished. Even our democracy, how can our democracy can be determined finally by judiciary, by 2 or 3 people? No, something is wrong.
You know, Prof, for some, the rule of law has a lot to do with the quality of people in the eyes of the law in a nation. But when it comes to protection of the fundamental human rights of the citizens, what is your assessment of it?
Well, when it comes to protection of the fundamental human rights, the only fundamental human rights, my own assessment, they try to protect is the human rights of the thieves who have stolen Nigerian money. They are the only ones you find associations and others are taking of their own rights. When they are taken to courts, they have rights. When they are taken to prison, they have rights. When they are refused bail, they go and shout and they have rights. But the real Nigerians whose rights are being abused daily are ignored. They are in every village. They are in every cottage in Nigeria. Their rights are daily being ignored. They suffer in the hands of law enforcement. They suffer in the hands of government. They suffer even in the hands of their own employers. You know, recently, Barricade, that is what they call it, exposed what happened to a military personnel. Nobody says he should break the law of his own association. But There are ways you can punish somebody according to what he has done. And now that radio station has proved what they said was right, because now he has been released according to the news media. So human rights, rights of citizens are the only people who have rights, whose rights they are talking about are only those who have stolen the resources of Nigeria, who have brought Nigeria onto her knees. But the rights of those in the villages, suffering in the hands of law enforcement, suffering in the hands of their employers, suffering in the hands of their own husbands, women, and even husbands suffering in the hands of their own women, and so on and so forth. Their rights are ignored.
All right. Prof, as we wrap up tonight, what roles can ordinary citizens play in nation building?
Jumai, what role do you want the people to play when you refuse to give them education? Don't you think we are suffering for the consequences of leaving people without education? We refuse to give them skills. Then we want them to play a role. Which role can they play? They are hungry. They are uneducated. How do you think an educated person will just go and kidnap somebody, take him to the forest, tie him, and say, bring money? After money, kill him? No educated person will ever do it. So as long as we leave them, they will become our nightmare. And they have become our nightmare now on the roads. You find it very difficult to drive in the night from Abeokuta to Lagos. Very difficult. From Sokoto to Talata Mafara, very difficult. From Adamawa to Taraba, very difficult. All over Nigeria. If you want to go from Enugu to Owerri, it's very difficult in the night now. So, ordinary people have been denied education, access to education, and even the very few who are educated, very difficult, they have no employment. You have to buy offer. Maybe you are not aware of this. The president should be aware that offers are on sale. He has to stop this. Children of ordinary people back in first class from renowned university in Nigeria are there. No job.
All right, Prof. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Professor Bello Bada is a professor of literature in English. I mean, we'll continue to have these conversations till we all get it right. Thank you so much for joining us on the program tonight. We appreciate your time with us. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And thanks a lot for watching, everyone. That marks the end of today's episode of Politics Tonight. But you can watch the repeat broadcast of this episode at midnight. Get in touch with us on our social media handles, Facebook, Instagram, and X at CVC News NG and at Olajumoke using the hashtag Politics Tonight. We're also on YouTube at youtube.com/CVC News Nigeria. I am Olajumoke Olatunji. Good night, everyone.